Peer evaluation is one way to provide students with an opportunity to evaluate the work of others. This lesson provides strategies for peer evaluation that will help maximize the benefits of the experience for your students. There are many ways to integrate peer evaluation, either as in-class activities or formal assignments.
The process of peer review can be included into almost any stages of the critical and creative thinking process. So while we're talking about it as a way to gather and assess relevant information, there are endless opportunities to engage students throughout all phases. The same rubric that was introduced in the last lesson for evaluating the sources and primary literature can also be highly effective as a structure for student peer evaluation. Involving students in the establishment of criteria for evaluation can also be an excellent way to cultivate investment in the learning and evaluation of the project, while giving space for students to create a common language and experience. You'll want to ask them questions such as, what criteria should we use to evaluate the effectiveness of this project or assignment? When you are reviewing, what do you expect to see as evidence of its significance or value? And how will we measure its originality? If you have a rubric associated with the assignment, it might be important to reestablish the criteria for evaluation and give students the opportunity to voice what they think is the most important component for the rubric that would be a key measure of success. In addition to assessing individual aspects of the work, using a recommendation system modeled after the peer review system for academic literature also gives students an opportunity to evaluate the piece as a whole. By asking them to recommend publish with no or minor revision, publish with moderate revision, or not recommended for publication, simulates the contribution to the domain that all peer review processes undergo. Describing an aspect of the paper that was well done encourages self-reflection on the part of the reviewer of their own work. A more specific teaching strategy that works well for peer evaluation is the gallery walk. Almost any form of assignment or project work can be used in a gallery walk. In the gallery walk, images, text, or in-progress work is pinned up on the wall in a gallery-like setting. Depending on the goals of the evaluation, quotes or short passages of text can be good for highlighting or evaluating the significance or relevance of a main idea. Found or created images, graphs, or diagrams can be good for summarizing and translating ideas, and displaying in-progress work can be good for evaluating the clarity, logic, and/or novelty of the work. Of course, these are not limited to the categories outlined here. The process is very flexible and can be reinterpreted in an infinite number of ways. In small groups or individually, students walk around the room, stopping at each station and reviewing the work on display. Students can be asked to give evaluation in written form or verbally, and the format of the evaluation can be highly or loosely structured depending on your goals. Here, students in a design class on communicating information visually pinned up in-progress work that visually describes a complex process. The prompt for the students in giving feedback was loosely structured. Each student spent 5 minutes at the station. The first 2 minutes was spent reading the image. What did they understand about the process? What was clear and unclear? They then spent the remaining time writing down what specifically they found clear, compelling, and relevant, and what seemed questionable or unclear. You might take this a step further and color code the post-its such that green is clear or orange is unclear, for example. Writing down a key sentence or quote from a text that you're reading is a great way to start students talking about the way a text is interpreted and to see similar and different interpretations or key points. This is also a good strategy in that it can be impromptu and requires a little preparation. Concept maps, reviewed in the last lesson, can be excellent visualizations for the gallery walk as a way to make visible understanding of key concepts and for students to add or remove and share information. Creative interpretation, such as an illustration, a visual essay, or a collage, can be used in the gallery walk format. For example, ask students to find or create an image that's a metaphor of the main theme or idea in a text that was read. You might find that students are hesitant to provide strong feedback to their peers for fear of being, quote, too hard on them. They might be more comfortable providing only positive feedback, saying that they, quote, liked something without explaining more specifically why. Some things we can do to ameliorate this would be to model constructive criticism, to press students to explain why they liked or didn't like something using specific language, to give students structure, such as having the students record one thing that was done well and one thing that could be improved. And it is always important to reframe students from thinking about failure to thinking about iterative growth. In summary, some strategies we can use to enhance peer evaluation are involving students in establishing the criteria for evaluation, reviewing criteria before the review process, and including low stakes and in-progress evaluation in addition to end of assignment or project review.